What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my PrizePicks Breakdown for UFC 298. I'm going to be breaking down this card from a PrizePicks perspective. Going to be talking about 9 plays that do stick out. Before we get into it, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you guys are new to PrizePicks and want to check it out, be sure to use promo code DFSBTN and you'll get yourself a 100% deposit match up to $100. It helps me, it helps you, it's free money. Highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, going to be talking some PrizePicks here. And as always, we'll start with the significant strikes, and not a ton sticking out from a significant strikes perspective. I think a lot of these are tough, and a lot of these I do want to stay away from. But one that does stick out is going to be, I think this is actually the highest on the card, second highest on the card. It is Ian Gary, significant strikes set at 76.5. I'm going to take the more there. Ian Gary has some of the best volume, if not the best volume, on the entire card. This is a guy in Ian Gary who's landing consistently, 6.67 significant strikes per minute. And this is a fight that I do think is primarily on the feet. I don't see any grappling on either side. I think Jeff Neal has elite takedown defense. We saw that in the Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. Ian Gary's not taking down Jeff Neal. And on the flip side, Jeff Neal's probably not taking down Ian Gary either. I think these guys are going to stand at range for probably 15 minutes. I think both these guys are tough and durable. If this fight does finish, maybe Jeff Neal lands a big shot. But yeah, I expect Ian Gary to go out there, just land a ton of volume across 15 minutes. And 76.5, it is a lot. But if the fight kind of goes how I'm seeing it, I think this is going to soar towards that more there. And outside of that, that's pretty much it for the significant strikes. We have a couple fights that I think could potentially finish. I think there could be some grappling in a lot of these fights, so not really much I want to touch there. But there is a lot that sticks out on the fight time. And the first one I'm going to talk about is one that did get hit. It got hit pretty hard. Robert Whittaker, fight time, 14.75 minutes. I had it at 12.5 minutes, so yeah, it's been completely smashed, but I still like it. I still like this fight to go the full 15 minutes. Robert Whittaker, I really don't see him finishing Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, for what it's worth, is next level tough, next level durable. This guy has a massive, massive head and hard to knock out. I don't see Robert Whittaker knocking out Costa. On the flip side, if this fight does finish, it is probably Paulo Costa knocking out Robert Whittaker, but I don't know if that's all that likely as well. We just saw Paulo Costa go out there and go 15 minutes with one of the chinniest, if not the chinniest guys in the division in Luke Rockhold. So, yeah, I think this fight goes 15 minutes more often than not, and I like this more. It has moved, but I still like it. I think this goes the full 15 minutes here. Moving on, we got Rinya Nakamura, another one that has moved just ever so slightly. So I had it at 10 minutes. It is now 9.75 minutes, which means that this fight has to finish, a little bit before the third round starts there. And yeah, I think Rinya Nakamura has a very good chance to not only finish this fight and finish it pretty early as well. He's anywhere from minus 1,000 to minus 1,350 on some books against Carlos Ferreira, who is coming in here on short notice, making his debut at 36 years old. Carlos Ferreira has been finished in 2 of his 3 losses. Terrible takedown defense. The grappling, he's giving up his back nonstop, putting himself into dominant positions. I think Rinya Nakamura either takes this back and submits him or pounds this guy out, and I think he does it before this third round starts. So give me the less on the fight time for Rinya Nakamura. Let's go with another less here, and another one that has moved a tad. So yeah, these lines are moving this week, that's for sure. Danny Barlow, fight time 7.5 minutes. I'm taking the less here. I like the under 1.5 in general. So yeah, I like this less than 7.5 minutes fight time. He's taking on Josh Quinlan, and Josh Quinlan, we saw in his last fight, this guy Josh Quinlan's extremely hittable, and you can maybe get away with being hittable against a guy like Trey Waters, who doesn't have a ton of power, but he ate probably over 100 significant strikes or so against Trey Waters, and he did get hurt a couple times, but was able to stay tough in there and go the full 15. But I'm just not sure he's going to be able to take that many strikes against a guy like Danny Barlow, who just hits like an absolute truck. So I think Barlow probably does finish him within 7.5 minutes. On the flip side, Quinlan, he has a lot of power. He is a BJJ black belt, so I think this covers both sides here. Give me the less than 7.5 minutes fight time. And then the last one I'll go with is going to be there it is. So Zhang Mingyang, fight time 4 minutes. I'm taking the less. I mean, this fight is just an absolute car crash. Both these guys are all defense, no offense, especially Zhang Mingyang. And I was watching this guy's fights. He just comes out, he walks forward, hands completely down, just no regards for his own safety, and you can't get away with that in the light heavyweight division against some of these guys, especially like Ribeiro, that hits like a truck. On the flip side, Ribeiro's very hittable. Ribeiro's been finished a ton, so I think this fight is a car crash. I think somebody's getting served here within the first 4 minutes of this fight. Give me the less on the Zhang Mingyang fight time. All right, moving on to the takedowns here. A couple are sticking out, and we're going to go with the Anthony Fluffy Hernandez takedown set at 2.5. Yeah, this guy, Fluffy Hernandez, is a takedown machine. He's actually averaging more takedowns per 15 minutes than Merab Dvalishvili, which is just crazy to even say out loud, but it's true. This guy, Anthony Hernandez, is averaging 6.79 takedowns per 15 minutes. I don't think this fight goes 15 minutes, but I do think this fight gets extended to the second to the third round. That's typically where we see Anthony Hernandez find these late finishes. You know, Kopylov on paper, his takedown defense is 92%. That's why I think we're getting such a low, takedown number here at 2.5. But, kind of dig into it more, look at who he's fighting. Punahele Soriano, Josh Fremd, Albert Duraev. I think that Anthony Hernandez is going to go out there and really have his way with Kopylov in terms of the wrestling, the grappling, and I think he eventually finishes him. But up until then, he should get a couple takedowns along the way. So give me Fluffy Hernandez more than 2.5 takedowns. And then the last one is going to be Miranda Maverick more than 2.5 takedowns as well. Yeah, Andrea Lee, 50 takedown defense, and you look at into Lee's fight, she's getting taken down by pretty much everybody. And I mean everybody. Everybody she's fighting, she is getting taken down. And Miranda Maverick, she's a very physically strong fighter, solid wrestler. She should have no problem getting takedowns here. I was looking through Lee's record, getting taken down multiple times by Macy Barber, Viviane Araújo. Roxanne Modafferi took her down 4 times. Montana De La Rosa took her down 5 times. Like, she's been taken down, I think, in every single fight outside of maybe the Silva fight and then maybe the Antonina Shevchenko fight. But other than that, and she's had a lot of fights, she is getting taken down at least once. And Maverick, she does average a little bit over 2.5 takedowns per 15 minutes. I do think she's going to have to wrestle here. I don't think the game's plan is going to be to strike with Lee for 15 minutes. So, yeah, I do like Maverick here to get more than 2.5 takedowns. And then finally, we'll go to the fantasy score. A couple things sticking out here. The first one is going to be back to Danny Barlow. I'm going to take the more here on the fantasy score, 96.5 fantasy score. I think he gets a finish within the first 10 minutes here, and if he does, he is going to hit this more there. Whether it's a first-round finish or whether it's a second-round finish, I think he's going to get a knockdown along the way. I think he's going to get a solid amount of significant strikes along the way, and I think he touches the chin of Josh Quinlan, who hasn't been knocked out yet, but is extremely hittable, and you can't be hittable against a guy in Danny Barlow with an 80-inch reach and a guy that has as much power as Danny Barlow. So I think Barlow puts him out here, and I think he does it within the first 2 rounds. And if that's the case, I think he hits this more on the fantasy score, 96.5. And then the last one I'll touch on, and I like this play quite a bit. It's going to be Robert Whittaker, 87.5 fantasy score. I'm taking the less here, and I think this less can hit in a multitude of ways. If Robert Whittaker's chin is gone, Paulo Costa knocks him out, the less hits. If Robert Whittaker, kind of like I think, kind of sticks to the outside, maybe gets a takedown or 2, the fight goes 15 minutes, I don't think he's touching 87.5. Like, Robert Whittaker, especially these days, isn't that high volume of a fighter. I was looking back at his last several fights. Robert Whittaker, only 31 significant strikes against Dricus in a fight that went about a round and a half. Only 74 significant strikes against Vettori. Only 59 against Israel Adesanya in a fight that went 25 minutes. So the volume just hasn't really been there for Whittaker as of late. Another 3-round fight he had was against Jared Cannonier, and I feel like this fight could look a little bit like the Jared Cannonier fight, where Robert Whittaker only had 69 significant strikes, 69 before that as well. So yeah, just not that high volume. Don't think there's much wrestling upside, if any. I think this fight does have to go the full 15. I really struggle to see how Whittaker touches 87.5, so I'm taking the less there. There you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your guys' favorite play down below. Other than that, leave a like on your way out, subscribe to the channel, check out PrizePicks, use promo code DFSBTN, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Enjoy the fight Saturday. Should be a good card. We'll talk to you guys soon. See you.